Well, hey, legends, welcome along to Hellmouth Hotline. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and this edition is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Once more, we're on Season 3. This is Episode 15, entitled Consequences. This is a great episode. I absolutely loved this one. Fantastic. Of course, in previous episodes, Faith made the mistake of killing a human, and it was the deputy mayor, Alan Finch, ended up on the pointy side of the stake, and Faith, at the end of the last episode, told Buffy that she got rid of the body, there's nothing to worry about. So this episode here, basically it's all in the title, consequences. It's everything that's going to happen because of the mistake Faith made in the last episode. And straight off the bat, it opens up with a nightmare that Buffy's having. She's below water. Faith had told her that she put weights on the body, threw him into the bay. Body's gone, nothing to worry about. So we open up on this nightmare sequence of Buffy being below the water, and this guy reaching up and grabbing her by the feet. A lot like Jason Voorhees. He's trapped at the bottom and he's trying to pull people down to their death, and in this case it's Buffy. So, yeah, a nice little influence from existing horror movie here at the beginning of this episode. So she eventually breaks free from the hands of Deputy Finch and gets to the surface, but whenever she gets there, Faith is up there and Buffy thinks she's safe, but Faith reaches down, grabs her by the head and pushes her below the surface. Now, Buffy really should have seen this as like a premonition, more or less, because this is exactly what happens in the episode. She pushes Faith's plan to cover up her accidental killing of the deputy mayor fails when his body is actually recovered from the water. The police find him in fairly short order. Wesley, the new watcher, he orders the Slayers to investigate the death to see if anything supernatural was involved, and of course Faith jumps at the chance to do this, and I think it was in that moment to kind of jump ahead in the episode, Giles quickly works out that Faith murdered the deputy mayor, and I think this was a giveaway part here. But in saying that now, I'm just thinking, was he even in the library at this part of the episode? I can't recall. He might have been somewhere in there. I can't recall if he was on screen or not, so he may not have witnessed this, but we'll get to that in due course. Faith asks Buffy not to turn her in, warning Buffy that she could also get implicated. Buffy and Faith sneak into the city hall to try and find out what Alan was doing in the alleyway in the first place. So, yes, everything is happening with the mayor being behind everything is starting to come out in this episode as well. They find all of his papers have been shredded, and yes, that the mayor is in league with Mr. Trick. So, yeah, for episode 15, this far into the run, the mayor kept his secret pretty well, from the other characters in the show, of course, not from the viewers. We all knew long ago what was going on. Yes, after much thought and discussion with Willow, Buffy decides to tell Giles everything that happens or has happened, and I do have to say, in this episode, I like Willow as a character. She's good, but in this episode, Willow has this whiny nature about her, and she goes to town on Buffy in this episode in a way like, we seen in the last episode that she was kind of feeling left out with Buffy and Faith kind of bonding in that previous episode, but she goes off in this childish little hissy fit in this episode about it. It's nothing major, but I was kind of just, it's one of those moments where you kind of want to reach through the screen, grab hold of a character, drag them out into reality, give them a little shake, and say, wise up, and set them back in there. So that happens in this episode, but yes, but it brings in that little bit of comedy as well on Willow's character, because she's kind of going to town on Buffy and her jealousy and whatnot, and Buffy breaks, starts crying, and Willow thinks, oh, I'm a bad person because I've been too hard on you, more or less. But Buffy breaks down, tells Willow everything that's going on. She says go and talk to Giles about it, and she discovers that Faith has already got there, and Buffy's like, for a brief moment, she's, good. It's out in the open now. Faith has, owned up to the fact that she killed the deputy mayor, but in reality, Faith has actually fingered Buffy for the killing. And again, that's what that opening nightmare should have been the premonition for. Buffy shouldn't have been shocked to see this happening. But Giles sees through the lie. He's like, Faith is very, very good at a lot of things, but lying is not one of them. He believes Buffy and the gang can keep a closer tabs on her and get her off a slippery slope she's on. Giles tells Buffy that, accidental human deaths that do occur in the fight against vampires, and that Faith is in denial about it, but she needs help and whatnot, and he feels that, to keep her here and try and get her through it in her unstable state would be better than what would happen with the Watchers Council. That's what normally would happen, is if a Slayer accidentally kills a human, they get through, not law as in actual government, police and whatnot, it's through this Watchers Council, and they decide what to do and whatever, punishments need to be handed out. But yes, Wesley, of course, is lurking about in the library, and he overhears the conversation, and he decides that he's going to call the Watchers Council. Now, throughout the episode, Angel has been skulking around the city, and he's hearing reports about this death. He's at the murder scene. He sees the blood against the dumpster where he died at. There's a flashback where he recalls meeting Buffy in the previous episode. She had blood in her hands and whatnot, so he's piecing things together. He's doing a little bit of Angel investigations a little earlier than he does Angel investigations later. But again, we're jumping way ahead here. That's a good, probably Halloween before we hit that series of Angel spin-off. But he's piecing things together himself, and there's different parts in the episode. Something will happen. You'll see Angel in the background taking it on. But while the gang's offering to help, Xander reveals to the gang that he slept with Faith. He feels he's got this close relationship with her. They made a connection and whatnot. But Faith, Buffy tells him that, Faith just doesn't see her conquests in quite that way. It's just fun to her, more or less. Willow tries to play down her reaction, but ends up crying in the corner of the bathroom. Again, she's a teenager in all fairness in this episode, and it's high school students and whatnot. She has strong feelings for Xander, everything that happened with her and him and whatnot. But with everything that happened, with her cheating on Oz, with Xander and the whole mess, and Cordelia and almost dying over it, now she's going to have a little cry in the bathroom because the guy that isn't the person she's with, she begged Oz to take her back. Now Xander has got himself a bit in the previous episode, and now she's all hissy fitting in the bathroom again because woe is me, more or less. And it's just, and again, if you could reach through the TV screen and drag a character and give him a little shake and set them back on there. That's another little moment I would have done that with her. She was really, as much as I like Willow as a character, she pissed me off royally in this episode. I'm just like, get over yourself. What the hell do you want? If you want to be with Oz, be with Oz. If you want to take Xander, be with Xander. It's just freaking settle yourself, pet. Anyway, where am I at in my notes? Buffy expresses her worry about Faith and the need to deal with the problem now. It all has to be sorted out before things escalate any further. Xander, still thinking, under the illusion he's got this real big connection with her, goes to her hotel, tries to reason with her, but she throws him on the bed. She's like, if I wanted to take you now, you would let me, and throws him on the bed, and she straddles him, and she's going to, are they going to sleep together again? Are they going to get it on? But she starts to choke him during this. So he's just about to pass out, I believe, and then slap. Angel bursts in, clobbers her with a bat, knocks her out, and then she wakes up in his mansion, and he tries his own brand of reasoning and seems to be making progress. And this is where we get to see this version of Angel that really does come out in his own spin-off show, and eventually somewhere down along the line we do revisit the events of this episode. But he's making good progress with it. Back at the town hall, the mayor and Trick, they're watching Buffy and Fifth City Hall break in on the CCTV, and the mayor decides that the Slayers both have to be taken care of, and quickly, as there's not enough evidence to put them in jail. He's just like, they're getting me a real pain in the ass now. Yes, where are we at? Anyway, Angel's starting to make a lot of progress with Faith in this episode. She's kind of, the hard shell is kind of softening slightly. But then Wesley bursts in. Wesley Wyndham Price, Watcher extraordinaire, bursts in with a bunch of guys from the Watchers Council, and they attack Angel. They stick shackles and Fifth, and they're going to transport her to the Watchers Council in England. And Angel's left with he's covered in this net and he's tied up and whatnot. He can't get away. Buffy knows everything that was going on. She was clued into this here. She was actually at the mansion. She knows what Angel was doing, but she went back to Faith's place to get her some clothes and whatnot. So more like an intervention here. So whenever she gets back, discovers Angel here and what's happened, they're like, oh, freak out time. But Faith quickly escapes and plans to hop a boat out of Sunnydale. On his return to the library, a bruised Wesley receives a very hostile reception from the gang. They're not happy with this dude. He's, hasn't been there that long, and basically he's just messed up and screwed up everything he's done since he's got there. But again, when you follow the show and discover eventually where Wesley ends up at, he's a very, very good character. Just because they start out being a complete waste of space doesn't mean they're going to stay that way. He does eventually turn up an Angel spin-off, and he's actually very good on it. I really did. By the end of the first season that he's in an Angel series, I think he came in season 2. By the end of that season, I thought he was flipping fantastic. But yes, where are we at? In the notes again, Aged, I keep losing my way here. Buffy and the gang head off. They're looking to see if they can find Faith. They break up, do their thing. We'll split up. You search here, you search there, I search the docks. That's probably where she's at, most likely. Buffy is heading down there. She finds Faith and she tries to reason with her, but Faith is back in the hard nut shell at the end of the episode, and just like, we're complete polar opposites and whatnot. I don't really fit into your world, you don't really fit into my world, sort of deal. But I have to say now, the acting from Buffy and Faith in this episode is brilliant. I should really refer to them by their own names. Elijah Dushku, I believe is the way she pronounces that surname, is fantastic as Faith, and of course Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy. The two of them put on a great performance in this episode. But of course, the mayor not unhappy and sending Mr. Trick after it. They turn up. Angel's trying to still. Angel, where the hell did that come from? Buffy, Faith challenges Buffy to join her instead, eventually inciting Buffy to hit her. Even with all their differences, she's still trying to, come with me, more or less. We get rule of the universe as father and son. No, sorry, that was Star Wars. But yes, the confrontation between the two Slayers, it's interrupted by an army of vampires led by Trick. The fight happens. They start off by dropping this huge wooden container down to try and kill the Slayers. Buffy saves Faith, pushes her out of the way from it, but she's hit by this thing. That effect in the episode, well done, absolutely brilliant. So she's kind of taken out for the better part of the fight. She's hurt, she can't fight, she can't really defend herself that well, and Mr. Trick is coming in for the kill with Buffy, but at the last moment, Faith steps in and kills Mr. Trick, along with the rest of the vampires. Anything else that was left, they retreat and whatnot. Buffy returns back to the library, convinced that they're still good in Faith. They might be fit to save her yet. They might be fit to bring her back from the dark side of the Force. Why am I jumping into Star Wars so much in this review? The final scene in this episode is the mayor about to leave his office to head home, and he opens the door. Faith's standing there, and she's like, "You sent your wee henchman to try and kill me." And the mayor's like, "Well, he obviously failed if you're standing here." And Faith is like, "Well, I guess there's a job opening then." So that's where we close off at the end of the episode, where she decides she wants to replace Trick as the assistant to the mayor. If she can't be good, she's going to be bad, and if she's going to be bad, she wants to make a bit of money at it, more or less. It is a fantastic episode, so good, and you're seeing some of the early stuff of Angel and his whole, crusade to save souls, starting in this episode. That sequence with him and Faith in the mansion, and him trying to talk her around and going through his own history and whatnot, and he's like, there's something different about killing humans than there is about killing vampires or demons and whatnot. You've got a taste for it now, and it's very, very good, a well written episode, and one that I do remember checking out the first time around. The very first time I seen this episode, I thought it was fantastic as well. And I'm just trying to think. I'm looking here. It's written by Marty Nixon. I think she had a heck of a lot to do with Angel's series as well, I think. Let me just look up what it says about her here. Okay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was also executive producer, writer, and creator of Bravo comedy drama series Girls Guide to Divorce. Unreal. Do you know what? I'm not even seeing any reference to Angel here, but I'm pretty sure that she did have quite a bit to do with it. Maybe wrote a few episodes. But anyway, hold on a wee second here. 1998, beginning with its third season, Nixon became a co-producer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in 1999. Upon the beginning of the Buffy spin-off Angel, Nixon was promoted by series creator Joss Whedon to supervising producer of its 4th season, which gave her increasing charge of producing Buffy during this season. So, well, I was probably talking out of my arse there about Corbin, because I was just thinking that there's so much that happens in this episode that, kind of, paved the way for the Angel series. Like, just that sequence with him trying to talk Faith around was fantastic, and I thought to myself, okay, Marty Nixon had written this episode. That's what put me in the mindset of, did she do more than Angel? And she actually did. But obviously, if I'm not even reading here, she didn't. But, she maybe had written a few episodes for Angel. But I digress. I'm talking absolute nonsense right now. But it is what it is. This episode, absolutely fantastic. I really, really am starting to enjoy this much more this time round. I do have that soft spot for season 2 of Buffy, and originally on the original airing of it here in the UK, I kind of fell out of it after that there, and it was quite a few years afterwards where I actually watched all the seasons, but not from the mindset of, I really want to check these out for a podcast. I'm just sort of going through the motions of, I enjoyed season 2, I'll have to finish off the box set, but I'm really getting into it this time and really enjoying it. And on the subject of enjoying things, I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and if you are, please hit that follow button, share it along to anybody you think might be interested in it. Do all that good social media stuff. If you want to email me to tell me that I'm talking far too much nonsense, stay on subject, stay on target. God, Star Wars again, what's going on to me tonight? If you want to email me, let me know if I'm doing it satisfactory or not. You can do so at the email, Hellmouth Hotline at gmail.com. And yes, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Until next time, stay safe and be good. This has been a production